Hello everyone. I'm seeing people in the chat say they love candy corn. That is fucking based. Based candy corn enjoyers. Though you know what I go really crazy for is those little mellow cream pumpkins. I can eat way too many of those at one time. I don't know why, they just taste a little different than candy corn. Also, Sam's Sketchy Stories. Detroit Become Human did not win the poll. Wolf Among Us did, which I'm kind of excited about. I was kind of surprised it actually crushed Detroit. I didn't know if it was as well known anymore. I will explain the draw in a minute. I'm catching up with chat now. Hello. Never had candy corn? Really? Oh man, those little mellow cream pumpkins though. I had trouble finding any last year. I was so disappointed. Anyway, yes, I have some new art on screen. Oh, hey, what's up, C-Puff person? I missed yesterday's because Cox Communications was being ass again. And I didn't have any upload speed at all for most of the day. So that was great. That was great. So I decided to postpone it to today, which worked out because the ACC pulled a bunch of weird bullshit yesterday. So yeah, Spinell would probably use glitter as a weapon. Oh, she would have pocket sand, but glitter, obviously. And she would just have pockets when it's convenient, because she can work on cartoon logic. But yes, I have this new little sheet. I haven't quite finished the pages I've been working on. I know I keep saying that. Maybe I am procrastinating. But I've been doing this because I have been fascinated by... I'm going to pause the supers just in case somebody interrupts me. Oh, wait. We have to see if Kaiser sent me any fan art first. Of course he did. Alright. First... Before I explain this art technique, we have to look at Kaiser's new meme for me. Kaiser advertised himself by making memes of me every week, you know. Let's see. So, first of all, let's bring up the Distractotron. I said let's bring up the Distractotron. Is my hotkey not working? No. To actually scroll down to where it is, like the old days. Terrible. Why isn't it working? Anyway, so this is a Dustborn reference. Dinner from a service station? See, this is proof that she isn't me. I would never pass up on an opportunity to eat out from a gas station. And the next page, I'm just going, It's true, though. The Psy in Dustborn can't be me, because she thinks she's too good to eat gas station food. I do not. Really? It broke all my hotkeys? How did all my hotkeys break? I'm so annoyed right now. Unless the thing I used to remap the hot... Oh, fuck you! I updated OBS and it took away all my hotkeys? How dare... Oh, wait, no. It's still programmed to that. Then what the fuck? Why isn't it work... Oh. Is it because I have the numlock on? I think I have to have the numlock off for it to work. Hang on a second. Aha! That was it. That was the problem. I had numlock on. See, I've been experimenting with, using my numpad as kind of like a ghetto, stream deck. So, I remapped all the keys on the numpad, but the numlock has to be off for it to work. Anyway. I wanted to show you guys this cool shading technique I learned. Actually, I need Distractotron back up for that. So I learned this recently, and I love it so much, I'm going to start utilizing it. Hang on, I have another message on Discord. Let me just... Oh, somebody's just pinging me in the server. Yes, I have... What do you mean I have to earn hotkeys? I know what I'm doing, kind of. Anyway, so somebody... I forget who... Let me just pause the music in case there's music on this. Somebody posted this short in my... Discord server a little while ago. I forget who, I'm sorry, but it changed my life. This is by Line Sensei. So actually, let's just watch the whole... No, maybe not watch the whole... Well, go back and watch the whole thing yourself. Give him the watch time, but he definitely prolongs it to keep the watch time up.
Great to see you. Now, do you want easy shading that looks great and isn't too dark on the light areas or too light on the dark areas and colors that don't look muddy? Well, listen up. Now, you've probably all learned by now that you should never shade with black. It'll make your picture muddy and gross.
Do not shade with black. He is correct. Do not ever.
But after that, you've probably started shading with a color on a multiply layer. Now,
and that's what I do, usually.
Multiply shading looks better, but it still has two challenges. The first
is that I gussy it up with gradients afterward to kind of make it a little crunchier, I guess.
Is that a lighter multiply shading won't be dark enough to show up on dark areas, and dark multiply shading will overpower light areas. The second is that if it's too much color contrast, the color shading will look muddy, and if there's not enough color contrast, the shading will barely be visible. So what do we do about this? Well, to get the sweet spot for both value and hue, you could color pick the flats and then manually adjust the hue and lightness so you can shade with a slightly darker, slightly hue shifted version of every color you shade over. But instead, why don't we use our flats layer to make our shading layer smarter? First, make a copy of your flats layer that just has your color information, not your line art. Now, place that layer directly above your shading layer. We'll call this layer a color controller layer. Now, do a hue and saturation adjustment and take the hue down by about 20 and the luminosity down by about 15. And now we're going to clip that layer to the shading layer. Clipping a layer to the layer below means that it can only show up where the layer below shows up and in the way the layer below shows up.
So that's exactly what I did on my picture of Spinel here for the shading. And I kind of want to have these as like my new character sheets going forward, because I am going to do a lot more switcheroo. I know I've been slow lately because I've been doing a lot of paid art too, but this will help me speed things up, I think. So the great thing about doing it this way is like you can continuously adjust that shade layer that's clipped to the shading. So say I wanted to put her in warmer shades, I could adjust the hue and it would just change those colors and those colors only. But they would still fit the color they're being a shader of, you know? So you can just keep adjusting that shade layer for lighting as you go. But this would be like my standard. So what I did, because like, obviously the desaturation hue shift he mentioned isn't going to work the same on every color scheme. So what I did was I basically picked what I liked for Spinel, and I made myself an auto action. Now, auto actions are something that are very useful. I used to use them a lot more in Photoshop for batch processing. So let me just run it on the flats I have over on this side. So I have an auto action for the shade itself. So I can just press play, automatically darkens it, and then if I want it a little darker and a little brighter, I have one for adjusting the levels. And I run that. Oops. No, you should just run. Okay, fine, I had to hit OK. It did it. So I could just use this action every time I need to shade her, and then I can adjust it for the lighting of the scene as I need to, which is a great shortcut. I used to, sometimes I'll use multiply, sometimes I use linear burn, or at least that's how I used to do it, but I think I'm gonna start doing shit like this now, because that's so good. So I'm thinking I'm going to make like a little sheet like this for every character that I need as a color reference, and then have auto actions for all of their shading. Because I've kept swatches over here before, but having the actual character laid out is a little better sometimes. I did start on some ones for the other characters. So we have Sapphire and Ruby and Amethyst, and then I still have so much trouble drawing Steven, guys. Why did I decide to draw front-facing Steven? I did this to myself. So I'm still working on him a little bit. But, so this is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna have their base colors and their shade colors just like I did on that first one, and keep these as my own personal reference. So this could work in Fire Alpaca if there's clipping layers. Most art programs have clipping layers. So what it actually does... oops, that's the pages. Hang on. What it actually does is, so the actual shade layer is this. It's just flat, it's just more flat color. But now that I've clipped this top layer to it, it makes those colors from that above layer only appear where I've put shading down on the clipped layer. So as long as something has clipping and tone adjustments, you could probably do this. Because what you do is you take your flats, you adjust the tone darker to the shades you want, you put it above another layer that you're going to clip it to, and then you just draw your shading on the clipping layer. So you could do this in most programs. This is just how I've set it up in Clip Studio Paint specifically. which is a program I highly recommend, and it really isn't that expensive, and also I have an affiliate link in my descriptions if you would ever so choose to switch to Clip Studio. So I just wanted to show you guys that before we started bitching about drama.
Nick Wolf sent a super chat. I started an I Hate Cox chat room. Hasn't really worked out the way I planned. It's just me, 2 interns, and 14,000 lesbians. Elliot Reed, Scrubs.
I assume that was about Dr. Cox, but yes. Yes. Indeed. Amazing. Anyway, so I'm kind of still planning out the next couple of pages. Spinella's not happy. So I might either start sketching or we'll just work on these pages again, which I'm close to finishing. I've added this little bit of them just running off to show time is passing. I'm kind of gonna speed run through Now We're Only Falling Apart and Ruby Rider. That's what these next 2 pages are kind of about. It's going to be like speed running those 2 episodes and setting up what's gonna happen with Spinell next. Which also might be why I've been procrastinating on these a little bit. But I'm learning as I go along. Like, I've been learning from observing Steven Universe backgrounds and stuff. And so this has given me an opportunity to really, like, try out different techniques. Which is why I've been, like, needling at these pages so much. Because, again, I am drawing stuff on the side for, like, Cougar and shit. So that stuff is just like, whatever, it's going to get it done, it's for money. But this stuff, this is like, I can just take my time with this and play with it, so, which might be annoying some of you, but I am going to try to get this out soon enough. I want to upload these 2 pages, and I think I'm going to have 3 more after this, maybe. I'm still kind of planning them. I really should just start writing scripts again. If I ever, like, pivot into, like, just a normal, ongoing comic set in Little Homeworld or something, I probably will write scripts. We'll see. We'll see where it goes. We'll see where it goes. I mean, I'm enjoying working on Switcheroo still, so I'm gonna keep doing it as I go on. My friends and I are still developing that original webcomic, but I'm mostly gonna be writing on it. Might do some inks. Could help with color. I've definitely suggested this coloring technique to the girls working on the bug comic, so we can maybe adopt something like this for our workflow, because we want to make it a webtoon. And I have to accept we're gonna do the floaty webtoon panels, which I hate. Because you can tell I'm still very stubborn and do my pages in a very traditional print style, except I've made them a little skinnier for mobile. And that's it. I think Celeste does have some previews of the bugs on her Instagram, actually. So maybe we pop over there real quick. There is gonna be a lot of talking, What do you mean her page isn't available? Is it because I put an @ in it? No. What the fuck? Why can't I find Celeste? Oh. It's because it's just me spelling it wrong. It was the autofill that came up. Okay, hang on a sec. Let's Google her fucking Instagram. Isn't it great? I can't even spell my own friend's username correctly. Anyway, so yeah, Celeste has put up some previews of the bugs. If you're not familiar with Celeste, you might be familiar with Celeste. We're good friends. She helped me with the Titan thing. She helped me with the backgrounds. She was doing the Overlord Husk. What? I can't see the post without logging in? Are you fucking kidding me? Oh my fucking god, I hate you so much, Instagram. Why do you think I haven't used you as much ever since I got big on YouTube? Ah, fuck, what the hell is my password? I only use it on my phone, usually. I just want to show people cool things. She probably has it on her Tumblr. Yeah, fuck you, Instagram. No, it's fucking goddamn Instagram that's being homophobic. Anyway, she has it on her Tumblr. So here is some of our main characters. We got this buff ant lady. She's a leafcutter ant. This little bee girl. I don't know if she's released their names yet, so I won't say. But yeah, these are this is what we're developing right now, so you finally get to have a look at this bug thing I've been talking about. We're still kind of working out, you know, the main story, main characters, how to do the art efficiently. But yeah, it's getting there. It's getting there. The thing is, Celeste and Skrill, the other person working on it, are really good at imitating each other's sketching style, and then Skrill and I are really good at imitating each other's inking style. So between the three of us, and then we have another friend who's probably gonna be doing like monster and lizard designs and shit. So anyway, did she say their names?
Nick Wolf
No,
sent
she
a
didn't.
super chat. Google thinks your early name is Anthony Grimaglia.
I think it's getting that from a fake wiki entry that somebody wrote as a joke, but it's pretty funny. So yeah, oh, there's Skrill. Hey. Oh, is it in the... Well, she did... okay, she does say them. Fariha and Ambrosia. Look, I wasn't reading. I was looking at the pretty art. I don't know how much to give away yet, Skrill. Anyway, Skrill's in chat. Skrill's also working on this with us. So, when will it be out? I don't know. We kind of have to, like, get on our workflow. But, yes, we definitely have a lot of ideas. I was mostly in charge of the world building. There are rules they have to pass by me, you see. But yeah. So, I'm not a furry, guys. These are bugs. We can't be furries if they're bugs, okay? Don't you gaslight me. Yes, Skrill is literally co-writer, designer. She invented one of the best characters while I wasn't even around for a while, and now I can't wait to write for him. And thank you, Shark Jumping Walrus, for the 5 gifted subs. Yes, Skrill invented a great character who isn't pictured here. And I'm like, Skrill, I can't wait to write for your boy and torture him. That's the thing. I've been realizing I enjoy being a story editor more than like a lead writer or something, so I'm fine with that role. You know, writing for the characters, being in charge of the world building, stuff like that. Looking over scripts, helping with dialogue. I mean, dialogue is definitely my strong suit, I feel. So, I mean, there are gonna be lizards in the world, and there's bug people. And yes, they are kind of hot, because we know. Okay, guys, it's the internet. We know, okay? Listen, we know. Anyway, so what else was I was gonna talk about? Right, let's put on some good background music. Well, you've heard some of what I'm gonna write for him, Skrill. I think I've found his voice. Though I said, even though he's kind of a comic relief character, we gotta give him some wins. He can't be completely useless. Poor guy. Anyway. So here's the other thing I wanted to talk about. And we'll go into the Distractotron for this. So, I had a feeling, because I was looking at some of his other posts, I had a feeling that Ragnar Tornquist, the lead writer of Dustborn, the creative lead of the game, and the head of Red Thread Games, who used all that government money to make that piece of shit, I had a feeling he name searches, because I've seen him interacting with other people. So I wrote this post where I said, so I finished Dustborn, and I was wrong about it being 5 writers who never communicated with each other. Apparently Red Thread Games head Ragnar Tornquist wrote most of it based on his own Twitter brain rot. It was the most disjointed nonsense that I couldn't even keep its own plot and lore consistent. So I specifically named him because I had a feeling he name searches. And I got him, guys. I got him. He fell for it. There he is. There he is. But let's all refresh what Dustborn is, actually. So, I put up a short the other day of one of the funniest fucking scenes. I couldn't even wait for my guy I'm gonna have make shorts for me. I had to make this myself. But, so we're just gonna rob people? We're just gonna rob people. That's what we're planning right now. Well, our robot ran off with our bus, so we are entitled to attract Hell's Angels over here to the Denny's parking lot, beat the shit out of them, and steal their property. That's what we're doing right now. That is what we are doing right now.
Is it really a good idea to go face to face with these idiots?
Well, I'm skipping the combat anyway, so I don't care. And we're just leaving this place on fire. We're the heroes, guys. We're the fucking heroes.
Get out of here.
I knew we should have taken
Those are
her
our
big
bikes.
bike. It's so much
What
cooler.
did they say? Cocktails that go boom.
We're literally just gonna murder these people. And this is just because we lost our car. Yeah, we're the heroes. We're the heroes. Even though we just robbed these people and they're justifiably angry at us, and now I'm just killing them all. With fire. That's okay, though. They all somehow survived this, because the game couldn't decide if it wanted to be like a goofy kind of Borderlands romp, or if it was going to be, like, grounded and serious. Because, like, so the game is all about, like, Twitter culture, but taken seriously. Our heroes can bully and cancel and trigger people. And they just do whatever the fuck they want and are entitled to whatever they want. It's a fun watch. I was going crazy, but I had a lot of real criticisms for it. I had some compliments, mostly for the design of things, never for the writing at any point, except for the Betty and Henry robots for some reason. Whoever wrote that storyline was cooking. But it's terrible. And the worst part is what caused America to fall to fascism was JFK not being assassinated. Which is just a strange, strange choice. And I tried to explain this to him.
Weak Freak Animation sent a super chat. You didn't even tag him and he still found it.
Yep. So this guy name searches. So anyway, he says, if you watch the credits, you'd see the game had 3 writers. I was one of them. We spoke pretty much every day. You don't have to like the game. We welcome good faith criticism, but it helps to get the facts straight. Yeah, so there were 2 other writers, but Ragnar's name was in big fucking letters as lead writer. So buddy, if you want to take all the credit, you gotta take all the blame. So, actually, that was my second question for him. My first question for him was, well, I have a few questions. Why were the Puritans barely set up narratively before becoming our final villains? Which is true. We hear about this heist the characters did, that we never actually see beyond, like, a shitty 2D side-scrolling turn-based RPG section and, like, 1 flashback. We're supposed to believe these guys broke into, like, a high-tech facility and weren't caught and stole, like, data on a fucking USB drive. And we meet those bad guys, like, twice before they're our final villains. The rest of the game focuses on the supposedly fascist justice people, who I never saw do anything remotely fascist at all. That's my attempt at a Norwegian accent, yes. And then I said, why were the supposedly fascist justice the heroes who swept in and saved us from those spooky transhumanist Californians? Because that's exactly what happens at the end. The fascists just let us go, and then they come save us from the spooky transhumanist Californians, because California is its own country in Dustborn, but it's ruled by, like, corporate technocrats, so I guess it's like Night City, but it doesn't look that bad. It's just, oh no, we have to work for DoorDash to make ends meet. How fucking awful. What a terrible life we have, living in a comfortable apartment, having to be DoorDash employees. And then we scam our customers anyway, even when we're late with food. That is literally the fucking main character's backstory. And then I asked, why were all the villainous leaders women? Because they were. Every single one of them. Every single, like, actually villainous antagonist was a woman. Yes, there's a male president supposedly in charge of all this, but we never see him. He's alluded to, like, twice. They clearly ran out of their generous government funding, because the end of the game is just nothing. Even they gave up at the end. It's just, like, buzzing through, like, the bare minimum scenes to get to the ending. It's insane. Anyway, he says, thanks for sharing. The Puritans could have been used more screen time. Yes, they could, dude, because we met the main bad guy, like, twice before fighting her and then easily dispatching of her. And all this woman did was want the data we stole back. We stole from this person, and she's evil for hunting us down for it. Even though it's, like, government secrets, if it's a corporate, you know, corporate oligarchy or whatever, right? Anyway, it's something we discussed during development, but didn't have a good solution for. Maybe, like, rewriting your fucking script would have been a good solution for that, you dipshit. Maybe, you know, don't write it as you go along, which it seems like you did. Or, like, go back and, like, edit your fucking script or change things if they're not working in the story. You're the writer! How did you not have a good solution for it? We added additional scenes and dialogue for the Herald and the Overseer in recent patches, and I hope we can improve on this in future updates. Dude, you don't have a day one patch for plot holes. It's not even, like, a patch, like, a year later for your fucking plot holes. Like, who gives a shit at this point? You already failed! I said the solution would be to actually involve them in the plot, I'd say, which he did not respond to. But my second question for him was, for that matter, why did you imply that our president, who was famously assassinated for being too progressive and tried to dismantle the CIA, well, allegedly, would have plunged America into fascism had he survived? Was that, like, ironic? Or just a cultural misunderstanding on your part? Here's where it gets wild, because he cannot take the L on this, even though he is not American. And he's writing, like, a political story about our country, thinking he knows what he's talking about because he just, like, reads anti-Trump tweets on Twitter every day. You know? So, I had to know, is it ironic? Were you attempting irony for having one of our, like, most progressive for his time presidents who was assassinated being the one who leads us into fascism? And he goes, that's a misread or a misunderstanding of JFK's role in the story, which was very minimal. He didn't plunge America into fascism, he founded justice.
Sent a super chat. Not surprised he responded. If this guy wasn't falling over himself to beat people over the head with his opinion, he wouldn't have made Dustborn.
Exactly. Oh, God damn it, Malcolm is infecting my cadence. Oh, we're listening to Stranded Lullaby right now, perfect. He founded Justice. Now, Justice, which is now currently the fascist militant police force, supposedly, because again, every time we encounter Justice in the game, they're either very polite, very reasonable, or too bumbling to even be effective. And we're supposed, like, they are less deadly than police in America right now. They are less militant than police in America right now. And we're supposed to take them seriously as, like, an oppressive fascist force. Like, I understand in Norway you, like, put your criminals up in hotels because there's, like, 8 of them, but things are a little different here. You know? Anyway, he founded Justice to protect and serve America, but the organization was corrupted after his death. This is discussed in a couple of dialogues, and a book players can pick up in multiple scenes. I didn't find a way to open the book. But yeah, one character says, JFK wouldn't have wanted this. And then Pax goes, this is exactly what JFK would have wanted. So who am I supposed to believe, Ragnar? Your main character who has, like, Mary Sue main character morality where everything she does is automatically just, and she's the one shooting it down? Or am I supposed to believe the sister who just goes, I read a bunch of books, and JFK wouldn't have wanted this? Books from where? Who? Pacifica? The Republic? Why would those books be allowed in the Republic if they were saying this isn't what JFK wanted? Why does she automatically believe these books? Who wrote them? For what purpose? Like, this is such terrible writing. This is such... Weak Freak, he made a game about American politics as he was getting up and reading Twitter every day. American politics Twitter every day. And made it his entire personality. He says that in an old interview in 2018. Basically. I said, right, so Marilyn Monroe, who he somehow remarried to after she died, plunged America into fascism. Lady Justice, the one responsible for the modern republic, like Gnome says those words exactly, and we're supposed to take what characters say at face value as fact, according to him. I said, yeah, your story claims the modern republic is fascist, and Marilyn Monroe is called Lady Justice, and she's still alive in the story. I said, why did you turn this woman who was very progressive in her lifetime into the problem? And he goes, in our alternate timeline, Marilyn did not die. This is how he covers up the plot hole that Marilyn Monroe actually died a year before JFK did. And yet, somehow, the only alt history difference is Jackie O died in the assassination instead of JFK, and then he remarried Marilyn Monroe, who was already dead. So all he has to say is, no, she just didn't die in our story, you know? Otherwise, she'd be dead? Well, yeah, dumbass, but in real life, she died a year before JFK, so you have to put a little more thought into this. Also, he still can't tell me, why did he choose Marilyn Monroe and JFK of all
Lisa
people?
Harder sent a super chat.
Thank you for the super chat, even though it was Blake. Maybe it was a sticker. Yeah, so Marilyn Monroe married JFK after Jackie O was killed in the assassination instead of him, and they founded a militant police force named Justice, which now controls fascist America that has just, like, entire areas of lawless badlands. So, like, that, still, JFK surviving is what directly led to that. That is what your story is saying, my dude. And he can't, like, I still don't understand. Why did you choose JFK and Marilyn Monroe, of all people? You had Nixon right there, buddy! You could have just had Nixon refuse to resign and also refuse to be impeached. And then he just put America under martial law, and it still is. Boom. Easy. Fixed. I'm trying to explain to him why this is so weird to Americans, and he's just not accepting it. Even though I was born and raised in the country he is talking about. Anyway, she supported JFK's vision for America after his death, thus Lady Justice. Even though Justice is now fascist, she was not responsible for what subsequent presidents did to Justice, nor does the text claim that. All your text claimed was that she's Lady Justice, and she is admired as, you know, the responsible for the modern republic. So why would I not think Marilyn Monroe is okay with the fascism, my guy? Like, he's just like, you need to know the intent in my head, even though I did not justify it in story. Anyway, thanks for being willing to learn more. That is so fucking condescending, but I just ignored it. I said, well, you did have your made-up president, Ward, who was not present in the game at all. So all any American can do is be absolutely baffled why you chose JFK and Marilyn Monroe to be the people who led the USA into fascism when they were both progressives. You had Nixon or Reagan right there. And he goes, again, neither of them led America into fascism, except they are directly responsible for Justice, which is now a militant fascist force, supposedly, despite the fact I don't see them do anything fascist at all the entire game. Seriously, you can go watch those playthroughs I did of the game. There's 4 streams. They are fucking wild. They are fucking wild. It is more than just me going, oh my god, it's so woke. Like, I'm actually keeping track of their plot points better than they are, and critiquing the actual writing. You know? That's kind of what I do. It was frustrating and exhausting, but there was so much to sink my teeth into, you know? Because it was just so just baffling. And it still is. Like, how do you think you understand America, my guy?
Dana_Brain sent a super chat. He's talking like they're his OCS and not real people who historically existed. It's so disrespectful.
Maybe he thinks they are made-up characters. You know, maybe he does. He's like, oh, I saw that funny fictional president, JFK, on the Clone High. I will use him. Anyway, that happened through the actions of others. So because the thing they created became fascist later, it's still not their fault somehow.
Nick Wolf sent a super chat. Sai's gonna catch moose and squirrel soon. Chat.
I know, I'm going more into like a bad fake American-Russian accent, but I don't know what the fuck Norwegians sound like. Anyway, sometimes actions have unintended consequences. Sometimes we do good things that lead to bad things, even if it's not on us. That's life, and that's partly what this game is about. So dude, this still does not tell me why you chose JFK of all American presidents to be the inventor of the thing what turned to fascism. All you're saying is like, well, it's not really JFK's fault, and we kinda say that once through the opinion of another character, and then our main Mary Sue shoots it down, but you should have understood that was the truth. You know? Like, buddy, maybe you're just a bad writer. I said, the overall outcome of this narrative decision of yours is JFK not being assassinated resulted in the United States becoming fascist. There's really no getting around that. That is rightfully laughable to Americans, but that's where he stopped talking to me. I think there was a few other exchanges. I remember something else silly he said that somebody else was... But let's go look at his other exchanges with other people. Because this guy, even a year later, cannot take the fucking L. He can't. Oh my god. Oh my god. Is he seriously trying to... He's posted this 4 fucking hours ago. He is seriously trying to compare his Justice guys, who are a mix of prequel droids and the cops from Demolition Man. That is what they come across like. He's comparing that to the actual threat of martial law in the United States right now. Bro, shut the fuck up. You are in Norway. You have no say on any of that. You don't even know what it's like to live here. You have never even been here as far as I fucking know. No, you're bumbling-ass Justice guys who all use non-lethal laser guns, by the way. Who are so polite to people and call them ma'am, and let murderous criminals go because they might be right about there being secret underground child experimentation camps. Yeah, they're exactly like the fucking threat of, like, military presence in DC right now because of our fucking crazy-ass president. Yeah, it's exactly the fucking same. Jeez, fuck this guy. Fuck this guy. I am not... I should have been meaner. I should have been meaner. Let's see. Dustborn, a game from a team of less than 20 people that costs less than 1% of the second game on the list. Oh, yeah, the cost! The cost you got from the Norwegian fucking government as an arts grant?
CPuff person sent a super chat. He keeps dodging your actual questions to instead answer smaller details.
Yeah, because he can't accept that choosing JFK was a completely baffling decision, and if he wasn't trying to be ironic that it was JFK of all people who ushered America into fascism down the line, like, no one can understand this decision, guy. No one who lives here.
Stevens sent a super chat. Remember when a Justice cop hears someone say Justice suck or something like that, their reaction is a meek, you shouldn't say that.
Yeah, like I said, they carry non-lethal laser guns, and he has the fucking balls to compare that to a military presence in Washington, D.C. in real life right now. Shut the fuck up, bro. Shut the fuck up. Holy shit, I did not expect to get this angry at this guy. An original adventure game that ruined no established IP. No, it just ruined itself because your writing is so fucking bad and you can't take the L, Ragnar. Well, Dustborn derangement syndrome is real. Dude, your whole game is ass. You can't keep track of your own fucking lore.
Helena McNeil sent a super chat. As an American, I wish other countries would stop trying to comment on our politics right now. Yes, we know shit sucks. We are aware.
Yeah, we're very aware. More aware than you. But, like, my god, guy, you made a shitty game. You gotta accept you made a shitty, badly written game. Like, nothing can excuse the ending. Even if you want to give the writing the benefit of the doubt, nothing can excuse the ending. And how they just, like, flashed quick through a bunch of incomprehensible scenes and then just kind of ended. And we never even saw Nova Scotia. You know? Oops. Now I'm effing. It's all Ragnar's fault again. Damn it, I thought this was fixed! Still this was fine earlier and last night. Okay, I had to restart OBS, and it's still kind of effing. God damn it. This was fucking fixed! I swear this was fixed. And it's telling me I'm getting good upload speeds now, but OBS is not reflecting that. What the fuck?